Good evening. Welcome to the November 16, 2016 Board of Education meeting. We've been in executive session since 6 p.m. discussing contractual issues. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Begin with introductions.
Joanne Cunningham.
Charmaine Bridgesinger.
Jonathan Fishbein.
Dave Hurst.
Jody Monroe.
Matt Downey.
Christine Beck.
Michael Cooper.
And Judy Kehoe.
Okay. And do we have any, Len Lenhart is not here tonight due to a family illness. We wish her family well. Do we have any participation in government students here this evening? Yes. Okay, don't be shy. Your requirement is to stay till 9 o'clock. If the meeting is going on at 9, we'll take a break. You'll need to come up. There'll be sign-out sheets up here for you. And if you have any forms you need any of the board members to sign, we'll do that for you at that time. If the meeting gets done sooner, then come up at that time and do that. Approval of the minutes. The minutes of the November 2nd, 2016 regular board meeting.
So moved. Second.
First and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? That item carries. Do we have a representative from the Student Senate this evening? Great.
Hi, my name is Connor Doyle. I'm the Vice President of Student Senate. Since the last board meeting, we held our semi-annual dodgeball tournament, and we had 25 teams participate in that, raising $720, so we're happy that was successful. Also, we just last week completed our leadership conference that we were putting on. It was the Suburban Council Leadership Conference. We hosted, I believe, 12 other schools in the Suburban Council at the Capitol building in discussion on leadership. We started out with breakfast in the morning and then had a panel of speakers talk to us about and give their insight on leadership and what we could do in our schools and our communities as student leaders to help out, I guess. And then we went and had lunch, and after that we went into the Senate chamber, which is very rare for us to do. Huge shout out to Mrs. Maritano and Mr. Cook for helping us secure the venue and the speakers. And some state senators gave us their take on leadership and how the role it plays in their jobs. So it was overall an incredible experience. We put a lot of effort into this. We've been planning it since last fall. So we're a little bit happy it's off our plate now, but I'm glad to say it went really well. What we have next is we're planning on sorting out a little issue we have had in just determining which clubs receive which funding, and we're just going to lay out a basis so that all clubs, if they need to, can receive the funding that they need. And then we're going to turn to our winter events like Snowball. That's all. Thanks.
Great. Quick question. You said you're working out an issue with the funding. Who do you work with that? The administration, or is that?
No, that's just within the Student Senate. Sometimes, like Model United Nations or History Bowl, they'll have a tournament they want to go to, and they say, hey, can we have some money to go to that? So we're just working on helping them out with that.
Okay, good. And that conference sounds great. A great opportunity for the students to see
awesome.
leadership in action.
We all learned a lot, I think.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next, the superintendent's report. Ms. Monroe?
Thank you, Mr. Downey. I wanted to let the board know that we were approved to begin the breakfast program at our elementary schools. We received the approval this past week, so that's begun and ready for action. So we hope students will participate in that. I'd like to also thank the BOU. Last night they hosted Talking with Your Teen about internet safety. We always appreciate the BOU offering these programs for families in the communities. The district's going to be launching our holiday drive the first week of December. This is an initiative that all buildings participate in by collecting food for families in need. The Community Fund also has contributed in the past and will be donating gift cards for the holiday meal this year. We receive gift cards from families and businesses to provide to families. And we'll be distributing these items on December 17th, similar to what we did last year. So if you know of anyone who'd like to contribute, please send them our way. Also, this is the American Education Week. Many of our schools have been open to parents to come and visit, see classes. Also, today is the National School-Related Professionals Day, so I'd like to thank all of our support staff for all they do to support our students as well as the district. And a couple of athletic announcements. As you know, the boys soccer team lost in the semifinals last weekend, but they had a great season. We had some outstanding performances in all of our fall sports, so we'll be asking them to come to our next board meeting to be recognized. And on Tuesday, we had 4 students sign ceremonial letters of intent for NCAA Division I programs. Natalie Cook, Sophie Powers will both be lacrosse. Natalie will be at Sacred Heart, and Sophie will be at Old Dominion. Catherine Sensilio, also women's lacrosse at UAlbany, and Caitlin Rarick will be playing softball at Lafayette. So congratulations to those students. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, Board of Education report. You want to begin? Yes.
Yesterday, Charmaine and I were able to attend the middle school character award breakfast, and as usual, it was a wonderful event, and I think it's great that the middle school honors these students, I think on a quarterly basis? For showing true character for various acts of just small acts of that they do around the school that help the students and the teachers, and it's a very nice event, and the kids are obviously thrilled to be recognized for these small deeds. And I just wanted to thank the staff for all they do for that, and also mention the Kiwanis Club, who provide all the snacks for those events. Well done.
Yes, Jonathan.
On Tuesday night, Election Eve, I attended the silent auction at Eagle. Apparently, they got $11,000 in donated goods. I don't know what they made at the end of the night, but it was jam-packed. I know that I bought some tickets and didn't win anything, so that was good. But it was a lot of fun, and there were a lot of kids that really had a good time there.
Anyone else? All right. Next is we're having a presentation tonight. Hamagerl Elementary presentation, service, learning, and school culture. Before we begin that, I'd like to thank the Hamagerl Schools community, its principal, Dave Kazanczyk, and the staff, and especially the staff that are here tonight, taking time out of your busy schedules yourself and hosting us tonight. As you know, I think it's now, we're on our 3rd year, the board had decided that they wanted to rotate meetings around the district so that we had at least one meeting in each of our school buildings. So tonight is the opportunity for Hamagerl to host us, and we appreciate that.
And thank you very much, Mr. Downey and the board, for coming to Hamagerl and for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Life is about relationships, and how we build relationships with each other. And that's the same in schools, too. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about how we build character skills through our character education program and all through our service learning program as well, and many things that the children do here at Hamagerl and with the staff. Again, we're talking about the character, one of the Bethlehem Central goals. First thing is the Kids Helping Kids. This has been, for our PTA, they've been doing this for about 15 years now. They've been very involved helping the students out with many projects. They do all these throughout the year. The food drives, they do 3 during the course of the year. Currently, we have our food drive for the fall, and we tie it in with our Hamagerl Turkey Trot, which is coming up this Friday after school. The entry fee is a donated food item to the food pantry. Last year, we were able to feed 25 families with the food that received as part of the entry fee. And also, the nice thing about the Kids Helping Kid Committee, what they have done in the past is they have brought some of the students who have signed up to go to a soup kitchen, to help feed the homeless. It's important for children to be able to see that. It's one thing about donating something, but it's also another about actually seeing that in action and how their work is paying off and helping others. The Adopt a Snowflake program, that's going to take place in a few weeks. Students come in, we have snowflakes all around the building. It has either a boy or a girl, their age, maybe some items that they would like for the holiday. Last year, we were able to provide 225 gifts for children in need, and we work with the Unity House. What happens when we get all the items, we bring them in, we put them on the stage. The kids at Hammer will come in to see the amount that we give every year, and they help load the truck with the Unity House people. And the look on their face, the Unity House people, when they see 225 gifts come out, bags and bags of stuff for the children, they just light up. And we always get a very nice letter from the Unity House every year, thanking us for our work. We also have a community service afternoon. We have students come in, volunteer. They go around different stations that are manned by parents and teachers. They could be making sandwiches for the homeless, cards and gift bags for children at Albany Med, writing letters to the troops overseas, and making cards for the senior center. Last year, we have about 350 kids at Hammergill. Last year, we had 150 students show up for our afternoon program, which lasted about an hour. And one of the things that we do have is our peer leaders go around to the classrooms and talk to the kids. Why do we have a community service afternoon? What are some of the things we're going to be doing? Talking about the homeless. Why is it important to help them out? The children who are at Albany Med, especially during the holiday season, just to bring them a little cheer. And also we've done in the past is the Pack Off Your Back program in the summer. Use book bags and that are cleaned up when you get school supplies for students in need around the capital region. And also service learning. So service learning is community service, but there's a bigger learning component to it. The kids have to see why they're doing something. Why are they doing these things to help others in need? Part of it is through our peer leadership program for students in grades 3 through 5. They have meetings about how to solve conflict resolution. You can see them out in the playground helping some of our kindergarten and first grade students who sometimes have trouble with the social skills. I want that ball. No, that's mine. So they're able to work with those children on those skills. Our recycling program through TREC, we have the peer leaders. They're collecting plastic bags. Parents, community members bring them in, they weigh them, bring them to Hannaford, and then they're sent off and they're made into benches, decks, and things like that for the community. The Reading and Writing Buddies program, that started with our 4th and 5th graders. They go down and they work with our kindergarten and first grade students on their reading and writing skills. It's important for them to see themselves as mentors. Even you have some of the kids who are struggling as readers and writers in 5th grade, they shine when they're working with those younger students. For them, to see them being successful doing that is a big help. Some of the other things that have really taken off on their own, which has been very nice, I didn't mark one of them, but over the summer we had kids come in, 3 girls came into the office and asked for a bag and gloves, trash bag. Like, where is this going? We followed them out. They went out and they cleaned the playground. Once a week they would come in and clean up. So that is, again, something that they have learned. Lunch helpers. We had 5th graders come in and they will volunteer their recess time to come in and work with our kindergarten and first graders, because if you've ever seen kindergarten, first grade lunch with the juice boxes, trying to get the straws in, the Lunchables, open this, I can't open that. They've been very helpful, and I know they'll be helpful during the winter time too, getting your snow pants on and boots and things like that. Also, something interesting that's happened this year is called School Sisters and Brothers. Now, this, I know Mrs. Guyon is here. We were wondering why we had some fifth graders that were walking down to the kindergarten classroom, to the first grade classroom before school started. So Mrs. Guy, what are you doing? Why are you walking this? Oh, no, that's my school sister. That's my school brother. So they have kids who are on the bus looking out for each other, making sure they're getting down to the class, making sure their backpacks put away, and helping them out. So those are like 3 things that the kids then took on their own. It wasn't managed by us, wasn't a program put together by parents or staff. These are things that they've done. I think that's really the goal for any service learning, any community service. You want them to take ownership, and that's been just a beautiful thing to see. We also have a character ed program, and we have monthly themes. We had responsibility, giving back to the community, thankfulness. We have assembly programs every month to talk about those traits. What are some of the things that the kids have done? We have a Healthy Heroes program in coordination with our PE staff, and that is not for necessarily the best athletes, but the kids who always give 100%, the kids who are always helping others, following rules, paying attention, and working well with others. Their names are announced in the beginning of the month, and they get their picture taken and put on our front board. The kids have been very helpful helping out with monthly announcements for our character ed program. They would do quotes of the day. I know Mrs. X's class last year took a month and they made up their own quotes. They would Google some quotes from famous people. They would come down every morning and give a quote of the day. We have random acts of kindness. We give out certificates to students for things that when we see them helping others. It could be helping a younger student. We had 2 students a couple weeks ago, saw a parent walking around the hall trying to find their kid's instrument. And just, I know exactly where that would be. Sometimes we store them behind the stage. And sure enough, we were able to walk down, and that's where the instrument was. So just little things like that go a long way. We give our random acts of kindness awards. And also recently, we have a buddy bench that will be put in shortly. The concrete has been poured, now it's just waiting to be put in. We had an assembly program about that to introduce it to the kids. We had students role-playing to show what they can do outside to help others. And traditions. Schools are all about traditions too. We have a lot of traditions at Hammergrill and traditions at many of our elementary schools. Our walk bike to school day is always very popular. I have to show you this. Last spring, Hammergrill came in first place in the Capital Region. So this is the trophy that received. We had the most number of students ride their bike to school. So we have this trophy for the year, much like the Stanley Cup. It has to be passed around to the next school, but hopefully we will have it for a while. Again, many of the other programs talked about the turkey trot coming up, Jump Rope for Hearts. Since 2006, we've raised, I think it's $150,000 for the American Heart Association. Would like to remind you, we do have our Hammergrill Craft Fair coming up on Saturday, December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our family math and science nights, art shows, field day, and one of the traditions that we started a few years ago, if you ever have the chance to make it here on the last day of school, I would encourage that. All of the students and staff, we line the hallways and we announce the graduating 5th grade class, and they come out. So they get a standing ovation as they leave the building. The younger kids are high-fiving them. Parents are here. It's a really, really wonderful thing to see. So if you're around, we'd love to have you here for that. And again, why school culture is important. Again, positive learning can take place only in a positive school culture. A healthy school culture will affect more student and teacher success than any other reform or school improvement effort currently being employed. School culture goes a long way. When you have kids happy, enjoying coming to school, they're going to learn. And would like to recognize, I've got a great job, and I tell everybody that. I work in a wonderful school community. Kids are great. We've got very supportive parents, and for me also, The staff is second to none. I'm blessed to work with dedicated people, the teachers who are here tonight. You will see them in a video in a few minutes. They're out every day in the hallways talking to students. When they come in, they may have had a brother or sister who's now is in the middle school or high school. They will check in with them. They will be at games. They will be seeing their former students at a baseball game, soccer game. They'll be writing them notes. When something good happens to one of our high school students, teachers at Hammer Grove, they're the first ones who come into my office. And they're, Dave, so-and-so got this award at the high school. We should send them a note. This is going on. This person's starring in the play. This person just got a scholarship. So not only the kids here, they follow the Hammer Grove kids throughout their school career, and that's a wonderful thing to see. So I'm very fortunate to have them by my side every day, and that's why I just love coming into work. The learning also, we talked about the learning piece of it. The teachers in the classroom use a variety of materials. There are books that talk about service learning and helping others, how to steal a dog. It's about a homeless family. We have Home of the Brave. It's about a child coming from Africa, how they assimilate into our culture and some of the struggles that they have. Fly Away Home is about a homeless family who lives in an airport terminal and some of the connections that they make with other families who are in the same situation. The kindergarten classes do Ordinary Mary's Extraordinary Deed, and that talks about random acts of kindness. The kindergartners will go around 1 week and they will get, for example, mittens for our noon hour raids. Just little things like that, doing random acts of kindness with the goal being paid forward. And then our Time for Kids, and our third grade teachers use that as well. It talks about current events, current earthquake, what are some of the, and the kids always say, what can we do to help out? And that's, to me, is real learning. What I'd like to do is show a little video of a piece of a character at assembly, and also kind of like a day in the life at Hammer Grill. Now in schools we always have traditions. Our traditions, the turkey trot and the food drive, the Halloween party, the fall family picnic, those are traditions schools have. Today we're going to start a new tradition at Hammer Grill. For all of our character education assemblies, we're going to open up with this song by the legendary Mr. Michael DeAngelis, I Am an Eagle. You ready, Miss Guile?
My vision is glory, 'cause I am an eagle. My vision is glowing. Whatever happens, I'll be ready for more. Remember the lessons, remember the laughter, remember the effort. Now open the door. 'Cause you are an eagle. You are an eagle. Always an eagle.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know the people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Again, that's been our goal as a staff, to get to know every child here by their name, and then we get to know them as learners, as people, and it truly makes a difference. So I'd be more than happy to answer any questions about any of the programs that we have. I know if I can, we've got a great backup group tonight, too, to help me out, so.
Any questions for Dave from anybody? Jim?
I
Yeah,
have
Joanne?
a question and a comment. I love how you're connecting the character education and service learning with the curriculum in a way, reading the books and all, because I think it's so important. I know about this at the college level, of having students understand the nature of the problem, the nature of the community, how that community defines itself and defines perhaps an area of need and a solution, so that they're basically in dialogue with a community, as opposed to just saying, we're helping you because whatever. I think it's so important for students to know the nature of problems and then the nature of solutions. So I think that's a very valuable aspect of the program.
Because they have to see, the problem, they have to learn about it, and why are we doing these things? And again, the teachers do a great job of that in the classroom, finding resources to use so the kids can learn that.
Sure, thank you.
Joanne?
No, I was just going to say, you're a very great leader here, and I think culture starts at the top. Great team. I mean, this is the first year I haven't been here in a long time. I miss you guys, but that was you missed one thing, and maybe you did it on purpose. On the Friday before the Christmas break, if you're here at the end of the day, the piano is out in the entryway with Christmas songs. And I don't know if you know that Dave Kay does a really good Bruce Springsteen imitation, but he sings this great rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and it's not to be missed. And Miss Guyan's on the piano. Yeah. So you didn't really talk about that, but that is a big tradition at Hammer Girls.
Yeah, it is. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I guess we'll all have to come here for that.
Oh, it did. I actually videoed it. I think I sent it to Joellen. Yeah. because it really was, it's very powerful.
Great. Yeah. Yes.
And I do feel that the culture of the school, of the community that we're in, does come from the top down. And I feel that in all my years here at Hammondale, Dave Kay has always been the person that has shown us. He doesn't just tell us how to do it, he's shown us how to do it. And I feel like that has really gotten across to all of us and made us kinder people. It's made us people that see how important it is to know our children and to greet them and to know all of their names and not just cut them off once they're in one of our classes and then they leave and you don't know who they are. Dave's the type of administrator that he comes into our classrooms all the time. I am amazed at how he knows every child's name, and we've all been really inspired by that. And I feel that that's made us better people. You know, better, not only better people, better teachers. You know, children that know that we love them and care about them are better learners. So I just want to do a shout out to Dave. He's really been.
Trying to wrap it up.
I have to say, I was here for lunch one day last year, and Dave did exemplify that. We were sitting talking to various students, and he just didn't know them by name, but he knew their interest and the baseball team that they liked, and he really engaged the kids. I was amazed by it all, that, like you said, that he knows everybody and spoke to everybody and, you know, made sure they were comfortable and they had what they needed and they were getting ready to go out for recess and stuff, so.
And I just want to say thank you for putting together such a nice presentation, not having students that have gone through Hammock-Rail. You really gave a feeling of what your school is about, all the different traditions and the service learning, and that it's not the parents doing it, it's actually the kids that are doing the learning service projects. And it just gave me a good feeling of what the kids are learning here that I didn't previously know. So I wanted to say thank you for sharing that. And maybe we can share some of the ideas. I know a lot of the schools, they adapt some of the similar ideas.
Yeah, different names.
Yeah,
It's the
different
same.
names, different events, but there's a culture that I felt from that video and the individualization of each student that if we can spread that everywhere, I think it's fabulous. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Dave.
you very much.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
Dave.
Are there any Hammock-Grill alum here from the PIC group? Great. Well, welcome home. Moving on, at this time, the board would recognize any visitors who would like to address the board on an agenda item. Is there anyone? No? Okay, we'll move to the next item. The finance. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following finance action items 1 through 5.
So moved.
Second.
First and second.
Can
Any
I ask a
discussion?
question?
Yes.
This is the election inspectors. How are they chosen? Are they, do you have to have like qualifications to be an election
I'll defer
inspector?
to
I
Judy.
know you're the chief one, so you're the top dog.
So I know the answer to that question. The inspectors have to go through their training at Albany County, so we get a list of
Okay.
who is qualified, and we do tend to have the same group of people who want to come in and work the elections for us, so as long as they've met those qualifications, we call them up, and in they come.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
yep.
Also, one of those items is a warrant that we all need to sign afterwards, so please remember to do that afterwards. And we also are accepting a donation from the Football Boosters Club. They are paying for 3 program assistants. I'd like to thank them for their generous donation. Without those donations, a lot of the programs wouldn't be at the level that they are today. So, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? That item carries. Item number 9, professional personnel. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following professional personnel action items 1 through 3.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion?
Just want to congratulate Mr., I'm not going to, Shell
Merdine.
Merdine for 37 years with the district on his retirement.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? That item carries. Item number 10, support personnel. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following support staff action items 1 through 4.
Wait, I thought we just did that one.
So move.
First and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? That item carries. Item number 11, other action items. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following action items 1 through 3.
So moved.
First and second. Any discussion?
I do have a question on the high school curriculum changes. Is that just classes that we're going to offer, but not necessarily increase of FTEs? Or do,
Do you have particular courses that you're speaking of?
overall, I was wondering with the changes, if there was going to be a need for increased FTEs?
So I'll speak to two that I know others have asked questions about. So the first is the new calculus course. So historically, we've had anywhere between 7 and 10 students in lab school that complete lab school level 4, and they do not have an option for lab school level 5. We also have about half a dozen students each year that elect to take AP statistics in lieu of AP calculus, not because they don't want to take calculus, but they feel that they're not up to the rigor of AP calculus. And then we have another half dozen students that begin AP calculus and find it too rigorous, and they end up dropping the course, within the first 10 weeks of school, and they have nowhere to go. And then we also have, another 6 or so students that they're not accelerated, they finish the Algebra 2 program at a very, very high level, and they would be able to be successful in not an AP calculus course, but a calculus course. So we're figuring we have anywhere between 20 to 25 students that would be eligible for that course, and I think we could absorb that within the overall FTE. The other proposal was the Latin 3. So currently we have 16 students enrolled in Latin 2. Of the 16, 10 of them are juniors or lower, so they don't have a Latin 3 option right now. And we've also struggled over the years with numbers in general for Latin 2. It's run with anywhere between 7 and 15 students, and typically anywhere between half and 2/3 of those are underclassmen. So the thought there actually was to run a dual enrollment Latin 2, Latin 3 course, similar to what we've done in the past in the Lab School of Spanish 2-3, so that we have healthy numbers there, and it would enable students to get all 3 levels of Latin. So I know those are the two that initially people had concerns about. Were those the two?
No, overall, I was just wondering.
Okay. I mean, some of the other ones obviously will have FTE implications, like the new Cisco Networking Academy.
Yeah.
That's something we spoke about when Jen Gagne did her technology presentation a few meetings ago. That's an entirely new program, so that obviously would have FTE implications. The new AP Computer Science course, we're already feeling pinched with computer science in that the first year we did the grant with Siena College, we only ran 1 section, but this year we're running 3 sections of computer science, and we're basically using math FTE to do that. So that's become a pretty good stretch. Some of the upper level math courses, the class sizes are getting to the point where they're becoming a little bit too large.
Okay.
So by adding another, so the AP Computer Science course, if we're running 4 to 5 computer science classes, we're definitely going to be asking for additional FTE there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that most of it was just maybe they're going to offer a different class versus something that they've been offering currently, and there wasn't going to be a big change, but I know with a lot of the STEM initiatives, they're most likely
Yeah,
is
the
going
STEM
to
are
be an
new, the others
FTE.
are more just addressing needs, but can probably operate within the FTE that we currently have.
It's also always dependent upon student requests.
Sure.
Right, right. And with the calculus, the lab school students wouldn't be required to take calculus.
Certainly
one.
not, but
could-
they have no option right now. So by offering this, it'll sort of it'll meet the needs of the lab school students that don't have that option, and it'll also meet the needs of, like I said, anywhere between a dozen or so students that the last few years have either started calculus and have had to drop it because they've had nowhere to go, or have opted for AP statistics because they didn't feel they were up to the rigor of the AP calculus, but then are going into a math science field, which they kind of look back and like, oh, I really wish I had taken a calculus course.
But they still have the option to take AP statistics.
Certainly,
Okay.
certainly, yeah.
All right, thank you.
And those course requests for next year will be in place before our budget so that we can
Yes.
appropriately
Yes.
plan. Yep.
I just wanted to acknowledge, that it looks like there's 2 courses related to almost athletics, intro to coaching and the strength and conditioning piece, which I think is it's great to kind of pique students' interest who may be considering going into those fields, either professionally or as volunteer coaches or whatever, but they're, when you think about career choices for students, I think that's a great way of getting some experience while they're here. So I want to acknowledge that.
Do those
Joanne.
take the place of a PE? How do those work?
Once at ninth period.
Yes, they would
They're
take
like an
place.
elective?
They're an elective PE
Okay.
offering. And actually, so the coaching course actually ties in nicely also with the character ed program and, kind of giving back to the community. So it's essentially you'd be training students to be able to achieve coaching certification for youth sports, so they can then go, be an assistant coach with one of the club baseball or soccer or hockey teams, but they'd have the proper credentials to do
Right.
so.
Sorry, I have one other question. The computer science programs, those are all at the high school level?
Correct.
Okay.
We are, so tomorrow, we're actually having our inaugural K-5 Computer Science Cabinet meeting.
Okay.
And again, computer science doesn't mean just programming. It's, very broad in computer applications. So we're looking to develop a sort of a map for what skills students should be required to obtain in kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade. And then once we sort of have that in place, we'll take a look at our middle school program.
Okay.
Because the middle school program, as it's currently constructed, the students coming to the middle school down the road are already going to have acquired all of those skills.
Right, that's kind of where I was going, is, thinking about the
Right, so the middle
computer
school,
science.
I envision we will start to introduce more of a sort of programming sequence at the middle school, but more of the lower level sort of drag and drop type programming, and then that hopefully will pique kids' interests so that at the high school level, they're able to take the Siena College course or the AP course or
Right.
the Cisco Academy.
Right. And Jody, remind me, I know we're going to do, the district's going to do some sort of kind of curriculum fair in January, or that's on the planning for?
Elective fair.
Elective.
Is that January or December, the elective fair?
That we had talked, you had
Yeah.
talked about January.
Yeah, I've been trying to wrap my head around the date. I think it was
January
January.
before course selection.
Right.
So right around after maybe at the region exam week time? It was before students have to make course selections.
Okay, and that will be for just 9 through 12, or?
It would be for 10th grade, incoming 10th graders, right, through 12th grade, because the incoming ninth graders are.
No, I know, but that when your child is in, the end of middle school time,
Yeah, we're
you're
also gonna
starting
run-
to think about,
We're going to change the middle school program as
Right.
well. We used to do sort of one general presentation where we brought all the eighth graders in at once.
Right.
And that's an overwhelming situation for the eighth graders to be in. I
Right.
don't know that they're necessarily engaged. So we're actually going to have 3 separate days this year where we bring them in. Mohawk will come in one day, P1, P2. So we have smaller setting.
Okay.
Kids would probably feel more comfortable asking questions, and we can promote the programs. through
okay,
that, yeah.
thank you.
I did have one more question on the sports program, the sports electives that you would be adding. I can see potentially there being a high interest in those classes for a variety of reasons. Would we have the capacity to find like those coaching opportunities should there be a large interest in it?
I mean, speaking from experience, there's never an overabundance of coach volunteers.
Okay.
If you're willing to volunteer, the organizations can find a
Find
place for
you.
you. Typically, they're scrambling to find coaches. It's not like there's people beating down the doors to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'm sorry, Matt, were you going to ask a question?
No, is that anyone
Okay.
else?
I have a question about those Latin classes. When you had said, I think, was it Latin 2, that some classes run at 7 or so? Are we required, because I know that there's the board policy or the recommendation that a class be
17, right?
15, 17,
Yeah.
something like that. So do we run those classes because we want to give the students why do we run those classes?
Yeah, I don't know the history. The one that I found was 2 or 3 years ago that
Okay.
ran at that low level.
It's not typical.
But it's not
It's not
certainly
typical.
not
Okay, great,
typical. I
thank
mean,
you.
we have done it with other courses. I just think, to be fair to the students, I mean, they come into introductory Latin, and to not have a healthy enough number moving forward to take the 2 or 3, this will help protect against that.
Right.
Because we run this year we have 4 sections of introduction to Latin.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? That item carries. Next is recognition of visitors who would like to address the board on a non-agenda item. If you'd like to come up to the microphone and state your name.
Make sure I'm live here. Okay, Peter Appleby, 42 Parkland Drive here in the Hammergrail attendance zone. Before I speak to the issue, I wanted to just say that Mr. K doesn't know every kid's name. He knows the siblings, the parents, the grandparents, including my in-laws who live in New Jersey. I've only been in the building twice in 4 years. Literally knows every single person by name and recalls every conversation. It's a very amazing skill that he has. So we left that part out. I'm the parent of 2 children here in Hammergrail, and I'm mildly off topic here tonight, but since you're here, I wanted to address the board. First, thanks for recognizing me, and I wanted to thank the board for the funding for the response intervention program, especially in the early grades. Not every district has that level of intense protections for young children who are struggling, as well as the summer reading program, the ELF program, that it was held at Eagle this past year. My younger daughter, who's a first grader here at Hammergrail, really struggled in kindergarten last year. Her oars were just not hitting the water. Even though the teacher was doing everything she could, my younger one has kind of a profound shyness, particularly in groups. And in her case, the way it manifested itself is she wouldn't make an attempt. No matter what the teacher did, you of course you can put the pencil in the child's hand, but you can't make her write or do anything. And she refused to do anything for months on end. When she was referred to the RTI program last February, that smaller setting allowed her to engage in a more active learning environment and made a significant difference for her. The summer program was a godsend for her. We were beginning to explore private tutoring options when we became aware of the summer program. While we could have gone to private tutoring, it's not through the district, it's not as organized and structured. And the institutional setting of being in the school building can't be replicated by a private tutor, no matter how good they are. It allowed her to not just maintain the gains, but make additional gains going forward. And this year, she is showing significant improvement, has announced she likes reading finally, and is pretty good at math, she told me the other day. So I know that you know the decisions you make affect children directly, and I know we're not in budget season yet, that's coming soon. But I just wanted to thank the board for funding these programs and to let you know it makes a huge difference for kids. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. We appreciate that and your comments. Anyone else like to address the board? All right. Well, future meetings. Well, the most important event coming up to the district in our mind is the vote on the capital bond project. The vote is November 29th. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. The polling place is the high school, upper gym. Everyone should have received the highlights in their mailbox. If you have not, please contact the district. We can make sure you get a copy of it, or the copy is online too also. Please come out and vote. That's all I can say about it is please come out and vote. After that, we have our first meeting of December is Wednesday, December 7th, 6 p.m. anticipated executive session with a 7 p.m. public meeting. That meeting will be at the high school library and media center. After that, we have a meeting on Wednesday, December 21st, 6 p.m. anticipated executive session, 7 p.m. regular board meeting. That meeting will be at the Glenmont Elementary School. I'd like, on behalf of the board, wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, happy, safe Thanksgiving. Remember to attend the fireworks Wednesday night at the middle school, sponsored by our town, and good luck if you're doing the turkey trot on Thursday. We have no reason to go back into executive session?
To sign oh, no.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yep. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
First and second, all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you. And PIG students, you got done early. So
So you
Line
have
up
to,
and sign.